This is CBN NewsWatch.
Thank you so much for joining us this Monday, May 3rd. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, mourning in Israel as the nation grieves for the victims of the worst civilian disaster in its history. 45 killed at a religious festival as the weekend began. Blasting Biden's spending plans, a key Republican senator says President Joe Biden is spending like someone with a new credit card and warns that ultimately everyone will get hit in the wallet. Where are they going with record numbers of illegal immigrants flooding America's southern border? What is happening to many of those who make it into the country? CBN News brings you a first-hand look. And actor and Christian leader Kirk Cameron urging Christians to be fearless and full of faith and praying America would be a godly nation once again as he wraps up his 100-day Campfire revival. All those stories and more are ahead in today's edition of CBN NewsWatch. We want to begin this half hour in Israel, which mourned Sunday for the victims of the stampede early Friday morning at a religious festival in the northern part of the country. A message of solidarity was projected onto the walls of Jerusalem's Old City Sunday evening in memory of the 45 ultra-Orthodox Jews who were killed. At least 10 children and teenagers under the age of 18 are among the dead. Saturday, hundreds of Orthodox Jews sang and prayed in a spontaneous memorial for the victims of the country's deadliest civilian disaster. About 100,000 attended the festival. Questions still remain about what caused the stampede. Media reports said the crush began when large numbers of people tried to squeeze through a narrow tunnel-like passage that sloped downward. Eyewitnesses said the floor became slippery with spilled water and juice, and as some in the crowd slipped, they triggered a chain reaction that forced others to fall as well. Back here at home, a key Republican senator blasting President Joe Biden's spending plans totaling $6 trillion. Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, the leader of the Senate Republican Conference, warned of the dangers of the explosion in spending and how it will affect all Americans.
It's the trillions and trillions of dollars of reckless spending. When I look at this is a staggering amount of spending, like someone with a new credit card. And these are for things that we don't necessarily need. We certainly can't afford, but they're going to delight the liberal left of the party. It seems to me that this is a cradle to grave role of government, whether it's paying for child care for everyone, college, free college for everyone, and ultimately someone's going to have to pay for this. It's almost creating an addiction to spending. So it's either massive new debt to China as well as massive taxing, probably the largest tax increase in 50 years. And anybody that says this is going to be on just the 1% or big corporations, I mean, that's just phony math. Americans understand that with this kind of spending and this kind of borrowing and taxing, everyone is going to get hit in their wallet.
Barrasso's remarks are another sign of the difficulties the president faces in getting his agenda through Congress. Barrasso added many Democrats are also concerned about the explosion in spending, but he does think some sort of compromise on a smaller bill. One element of the president's job plan is major spending on home health care. Although COVID-19 is on the decline, it did take the lives of nearly 200,000 people in nursing homes. So the Biden administration has a plan they hope will keep people out of nursing homes and instead allow them to get the care they need where they already live. But as Lori Johnson shows us, not everyone is on board.
1/5 of President Biden's $2 trillion infrastructure package would go toward providing home care to the very poor and the disabled who qualify for Medicaid. That's a price tag of $400 billion. While Medicaid already covers both nursing home and in-home care, there's a sticking point in the form of an average 3-year waiting list for in-home care. That means people who can't wait that long end up in nursing homes. The Biden plan aims to change that by increasing the number of in-home care workers and their salaries.
Democrat and Republican voters, their great concern, almost as much as their children, is taking care of an elderly loved one who can't be left alone. Medicaid contemplated it, but this plan is going to help those families and create jobs for our caregivers with better wages and better benefits.
Brian Weinstein is with Visiting Angels, one of America's largest home care providers.
By 2030, all baby boomers will be at retirement age, i.e. 65 or above. So we'll have more seniors than we do children for the first time in our country's history.
Eventually, most seniors will need help with everyday tasks like bathing, cooking, and taking medications. Right now, 53 million seniors and disabled people get the help they need at home from relatives. This adds up to an average of 24 hours each week of care, plus a cost of $7,000 out of pocket each year, to say nothing of the emotional toll. Aside from family, professional home care providers are paid different ways, such as with private long-term insurance, VA benefits, personal savings, and in some cases, Medicaid. The government-funded senior health insurance program known as Medicare, however, provides very little for in-home care, and the Biden plan appears to keep it that way.
If you use Medicaid, it's a whole other model. You have to redo all of your paperwork. You've got to send in and get your applications to make sure that you're eligible for Medicaid. If it was put into the Medicare program, I think it would be much easier for seniors to navigate for home care-based service through the Medicare program versus Medicaid.
In addition to shutting out people who don't qualify for Medicaid, critics argue in-home care doesn't fit the traditional definition of infrastructure.
I think it's going to be a real fight in Congress because what he's calling for is a $400 billion increase in spending in Medicaid. And Medicaid right now is spending about $130 billion a year on long-term care services.
Details determine everything, and so far, this plan lacks specifics.
I think it fits with a general pattern of the Biden administration's health policy, which is to piece by piece, step by step, expand direct government control over healthcare financing, the coverage of healthcare services and long-term care services.
So while it's clear America's disabled and low-income seniors need help at home, it remains to be seen whether Congress sees fit to spend hundreds of billions more on top of what the government already provides. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Caitlyn Jenner, now a candidate for governor of California, says transgender girls should not be allowed to be on girls' teams. Jenner made the remarks to TMZ.
This is a question of fairness. That's why I oppose biological boys who are trans competing in girl sports in school. It just isn't fair. And we have to protect girl sports in our school.
Jenner won the gold medal in the 1976 Olympic decathlon as Bruce Jenner before transition to a female in 2015. More than 30 states are considering banning trans athletes. Governors in 7 states have already signed bills preventing trans girls from taking part on girls' teams because of an unfair physical advantage. Congressman Dan Crenshaw made his first public appearance Thursday since eye surgery left the Texas Republican effectively blind last month. Crenshaw spoke to his colleagues virtually while attending the House Energy and Commerce Committee meeting. He had surgery after his retina detached in his left eye. Crenshaw explained he's doing well, but his vision is still impaired. He said doctors are optimistic. The 37-year-old retired Navy SEAL lost his right eye from an improvised explosive device that detonated during a deployment in Afghanistan in 2012. Coming up, a warrant was quietly issued for a church in Canada after the pastor threw out government health officials over Easter weekend. We're going to tell you what's going on in this case when we come back.
This is it, your worst nightmare. Your car broke down. Now you're very worried if it could cost you a fortune in repair bills. That's unless you have CarShield, the #1 auto protection company in the country. When you're protected by CarShield, it goes like this. First, the tow truck takes your vehicle to the mechanic of your choice. The cost of the towing, nothing when you have CarShield. Next, you'll likely need a rental car when your vehicle is being repaired, right? CarShield gets that covered too. Then comes the best part of all. When you pick your vehicle up, you won't have that big auto repair bill to worry about. CarShield gets your shop paid, and you're back on the road worry-free. Imagine driving with that kind of peace of mind. Call or go online right now to get an affordable CarShield plan for your vehicle. Whether you have a small problem like a power window motor that could cost you a few $100s, or a big problem like an engine or transmission that could cost you thousands of dollars, you're taken care of with CarShield. They're the #1 auto protection company in the country. CarShield administrators have paid out more than $1 billion in auto repairs. And CarShield has helped hundreds of thousands of people just like you. CarShield is the right choice. So if your vehicle has 5,000 to 150,000 miles, just tell us the make and model of your car or truck and get an instant plan quote. In a matter of minutes, you can get your coverage started. It's inevitable. As your car or truck ages, parts and components are going to fail. You can risk it, or you can get CarShield.
Call 1-800-470-6942 now for your free instant protection plan quote. That's 1-800-470-6942. 1-800-470-6942.
A pastor in Canada is again being targeted by the government. A judge quietly signed a warrant authorizing police and health officials in Alberta to use reasonable force to gain access to the building belonging to the Fortress of Adullam Church, led by Pastor Arthur Pawlowski. He gained widespread attention when he kicked government health officials out of the church's sanctuary over Easter weekend. Here now with more on this situation is Dan Andros of faithwire.com. Dan, so what does this new warrant say and why was it issued this time?
Well, I mean, Ephraim, it certainly looks like this new order was issued because of precisely those viral videos that we saw. First, there was one on Easter of the pastor shooing away the authorities and the health officials who came there, just saying that they had a report and they wanted to inspect and view the service. And he chased them away with some choice language about communists and fascists. And it happened again, actually, just over a week ago. The same health inspector came back. And it was the same result. She had a paper this time saying that they could go in, but he said the same types of things he said the first time on Easter, and it was the same result. They actually went away. So now we actually have this order, which was filed by the Court of Queen's Bench in Alberta and Justice David Gates. And they issued this order without notifying the church or the pastor or their attorneys. And so they just found out about this a few days after it was issued, which I believe it was issued on April 23rd. And they just found out about it a few days ago. So, but it did authorize police and health officials in Alberta to use such reasonable force as they deem appropriate to gain access to the church if the pastor or, quote, anyone else tries to stop them from entering. And so the language continues, and it's very forceful. It says that the law enforcement is authorized to do anything necessary to carry out the arrest, including the use of as much reasonable force as may be necessary to make the arrest, and without warrant, to enter any place where, on reasonable grounds, law enforcement believes that the offending person may be found. So some very strong language there. And again, they're a little upset because it was not shared with them at all. They just found about this out about it after the fact.
The pastor said that the government could come to his church any day of the week, but he believes they're coming on Sundays for a reason. Why?
Yeah, well, this pastor grew up under the Iron Curtain in communist Poland. So he's very sensitive to when he's seeing these police, what he views as overreaches. So because he says it's very similar to what he saw in communist Poland, saying that police would find any excuse to exercise authority and control over the population. And he believes it's the same thing that's happening now with authorities in relation to into coronavirus and how they're handling the reaction. And so he's pushing back against that. And he said, again, that's why he fled communist Poland in the first place, because he thought Canada would be free. But now what he's seeing in Canada looks all too familiar to what he saw in the past.
So looking ahead, will this end up in court?
Well, there's no way to know for sure just yet, but we haven't seen if authorities, there's no reports as of yet if they showed up yesterday. It doesn't look like they have, or else we would have seen that. The last thing he posted on his social media was a video of him saying that they would stand their ground and that they would basically be happy to be arrested for the cause of Christ. So it does appear that they are going to stand their ground. They are not going to back down and cower to this order. So it certainly looks like they're going to fight this. And so now the ball is in the court of the Canadian authorities. Will they choose to now try to exercise that power they've given themselves, or will they back down? Time will tell.
Indeed it will. Dan Andros of FaithWire.com, thank you so much. I want to remind you at home that you can catch FaithWire this evening on the CBN News Channel. It begins at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Still ahead, illegal immigrants flooding the southern border. What happens to some of those who make it into the United States? You may not believe the answer. We're going to have the story for you when we come back. Stay with us.
Stay tuned to get 2 rolls of alien tape free. You heard that right, free. Finally, there's alien tape, a revolutionary new tape that doesn't use adhesive, but strong enough to hold an incredible 17.5 pounds on most surfaces. You'll love alien tape, the incredible new advanced grip technology tape that instantly locks anything into place without screws or anchors. There's more. Alien tape is reusable. Remove it, rinse it, and reuse it. Use it again and it's just as strong. Use alien tape to hold stuff in place. It locks right down instantly. Keep things secure until you're done. Just give it a twist and it comes right off. No need to drill into cabinets. Alien tape will stay in place until you decide to take it off. Alien tape is perfect for glass. Use it for heavy towels and it stays in place. When you're done, remove it and there's no residue. Alien tape defies gravity, even when it's wet. You'll love it. Alien tape grips to most surfaces instantly. Hang heavy pictures on stone in a flash. Use alien tape outdoors. No nails or screws. It's tough and stands up to the elements. Alien tape is amazing. Alien tape is the reusable double-sided tape you'll use everywhere. Alien tape stops furniture from sliding. It locks into place and won't damage floors. You'll love it. Alien tape keeps carpets in place. Use alien tape in the car for backseat entertainment. Or easily secure your cell phone while driving. Call or go online to get your roll of the incredible alien tape for the low price of just $19.99 plus shipping and processing. But wait, order today and you can get 2 additional rolls of alien tape absolutely free. That's right, for a limited time, you can get 3 rolls of alien tape for one low price. That's an amazing amount of alien tape. Don't delay. Get yours today. Here's how to order.
To order, call 1-800-896-0630. That's 1-800-896-0630 or go to tryalientape.com. So call 1-800-896-0630 or order online at tryalientape.com.
Welcome back to CBN News Watch. So where do the thousands of illegal immigrants surging across the border go each day? The Biden administration doesn't want border agents talking about it. So CBN's Tara Mergener traveled to Texas to bring us this firsthand report on where the migrants are landing in the middle of a pandemic.
Signs of the migrant surge, like these pants left behind, are obvious on the border. But experts say the problem is increasingly being felt across the nation in areas far from the Rio Grande Valley. Sneaking into Texas's Rio Grande Valley, now by the thousands per day. Most traveling through multiple countries to get here in search of the American dream.
Were you worried that once you got here, if they would let you in or not?
Yes, I was worried, but God granted this opportunity.
Record numbers taking that same chance, nearly all paying smugglers to get them here, then turning themselves into border agents. And within hours, dropped off by the dozens at area shelters. Bus stations.
We supply them with backpacks that'll have water and blankets, masks, a snack pack.
And even airports. On our plane to Dallas, migrants packed the flight, some with first-class tickets. Due to the lenient immigration policies now in place, most will never face a judge.
Usually you're given a court date and you are supposed to appear, which most don't appear, but at least you're given a court date. Now they're not even given a court date.
Once again, we have to begin with the rising cases of coronavirus in the U.S.
Not to mention, this is all happening during a pandemic. Forget temperature checks, as Border Patrol only tests migrants with symptoms. Others are checked at pop-up sites like this one at the Brownsville bus station. We saw how those testing positive were placed across the room from others, yet they still boarded buses bound for cities across the U.S., some likely spreading COVID along the way. Organizations like Catholic Charities are also in the middle of the chaos. The difference we saw is that they test hundreds of migrants each for the virus. Anyone testing positive packed into vans and sent to area hotels where they are urged.
We'll test them every single day until we see a negative test result. In the meantime, they get cared for, meals and anything they need.
But not forced to quarantine.
We're in the middle of a pandemic. For so long, we've been told, stay home. Kids cannot go back to school. Keep your business closed. I don't understand what their comprehension is, to allow so many people to come in.
According to law enforcement, that large number is also due to smugglers who are cashing in to the tune of billions of dollars.
Do you think that the increasing numbers coming over right now is going to create more opportunity for these smugglers?
Yes, I firmly believe that it's going to increase the numbers of stash houses. The individuals that are crossing the river, they pick them up along the river in a vehicle and bring them to an area such as this one here.
Migrants, some kidnapped, others running from the law themselves, are often kept in deplorable conditions as their keepers demand more money to take them deeper into the U.S., often along with drugs.
What kind of people hide in stash houses?
We've had elderly, from male, female with a newborn, children.
Until recently, Border Patrol's intel team conducted hundreds of stash house raids per year. But we're told many have been reassigned to caring for the migrants once they cross the border, leaving law enforcement to catch smugglers on the next leg of the journey on the nation's highways and back roads.
They try alternative routes. They're always looking to find different routes to smuggle, whether it's humans or narcotics.
Hidalgo County constables are among those getting federal money to pay for overtime on border security. That includes traffic stops like this one, where we saw officers suspicious of a speeding car full of young men heading north.
This is just one of a number of these stops just in the last, really few minutes.
Our deputies, along with Border Patrol, have conducted more than 8 to 10 traffic stops within the last 30 minutes. And obviously, they got one.
92, 95,
And as we learned of another disturbing trend, U.S. citizens are increasingly helping migrants evade authorities. All of this leading to the same question: who and how many more migrants get away each day? In Hidalgo County, Tara Mergener, CBN News.
Coming up, actor and Christian leader Kirk Cameron urging Christians to be fearless and full of faith, calling for unity among believers as he wraps up his 100-day Campfire revival. We've got the story for you when we come back. Please stay with us.
Your cat gets bored and wants to play, but that can mean trouble when you're away. Now, reel in the fun with Flippity Fish, the exciting new cat toy that keeps Kitty entertained all day with hours of play. Just like a fish out of water, Flippity Fish's realistic flopping action instantly attracts your cat's inner hunter. They'll pounce, they'll prey. It's a natural instinct that never goes away. It's motion activated, so when Kitty gets near, the flopping fun automatically turns on. The tail speeds up and slows down, surprising Kitty when she least expects it, so she'll you'll never get bored. Old cats get fat, and that's not healthy. But Flippity Fish's nonstop fun will turn even lazy kitty into crazy kitty. No matter your cat's age, it will be as playful as a kitten again. Made with strong, durable material, Flippity Fish can withstand the most ferocious attack. Even when kitty catches the fish, it keeps flopping around. There's even a catnip pouch. Fill it for even more feline fun. Night or day, it will occupy kitty for hours of play. Then when it's time for kitty's nap, it turns off automatically. It flips, it flops, it gives kitty a safe place to play instead of tearing the house away. Act now and get your Flippity Fish for just $19.99. But wait, as a special bonus, you'll get the Flippity fishing pole absolutely free. Just attach to Flippity Fish and cast to your cat. Your entire family can reel in on the fun. Order now and we'll double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. We'll even ship your entire order for free. That's 2 complete sets and free shipping for just $19.99. A perfect gift for any cat lover. So don't be a fish out of water. Order your Flippity Fish now.
To order, call 1-800-487-1878 or go online at flippityfish.com. Don't delay, call 1-800-487-1878 or go online at flippityfish.com. Order now.
From Washington, D.C.
Good evening and welcome to Faith Nation.
Uncompromising stories, interviews, and analysis from veteran journalists David Brody, John Jessup, Jenna Browder, and Eric Phillips, bringing you the political news that matters.
Regulations on the energy industry are going to have dramatic ripple effects throughout the economy.
News you can trust.
We're people who are committed to protecting the most weakest and the most vulnerable.
Watch Faith Nation, weeknights at 6.
Kirk Cameron, he is an actor and Christian leader, and he held a huge celebration Friday to end his 100th and final day of his American Campfire revival. Thousands watched the live event where Cameron and a group of friends gathered on a farm in Roopville, Georgia, to worship and to pray, as well as gather around a massive bonfire.
Where there is unity, we have power. We have Jesus here in the midst of us right now. And this last 100 days has been a model of what we need to be doing across racial lines, denominational lines, gender lines, economic lines, and political lines.
Kirk Cameron began the final night with a prayer, "Make us a godly nation once again so that we can be a blessing to you and to shine the light of Jesus to the whole world." With that, time for your Monday Motivation, and today I want to leave you with this message to jumpstart your week. A pandemic may have closed a few church buildings, but God is still searching for empty hearts. Open your heart to Him. He is longing to fill it, not just now, but again and again. With that word, I encourage you to make this first week of May a wonderful one, and be sure to have yourself a marvelous Monday. That is a wrap for this edition of CBN News Watch. I want to remind you, you can always find more of our programs on the CBN News Channel. You can find them there at any time. You can also find them online at cbnnews.com. We would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. Email us at that address right there on your screen, newswatch@cbn.com. And of course, you can always reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. We'll see you right back here, same time tomorrow.